After engaging in years of feuds with his Queens neighbor Archie Bunker on Norman Lear's groundbreaking TV series All in the Family in 1975, dry cleaning magnate George Jefferson, Sherman Hemsley, and his wife Louise, Isabelle Sanford, finally achieve success and move up to the East Side for their own enduring spin-off, The Jeffersons. Similar to their approach with Archie on All in the Family, Lear and his writers utilized George as a straightforward, amusing, often misguided instrument to address the social and political discussions of the time. This revolutionary series featured an interracial couple, the Jeffersons' in-laws Tom and Helen Willis, portrayed by Franklin Covey and Roxy Roker, as part of its main cast, addressing issues of race, class, sex, and gender across more than 250 episodes. The depiction of black wealth on the show would go on to influence future network productions like The Cosby Show and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hemsley and Sanford even reprised their roles as George and Wheezy on 2 episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Over 35 years since its conclusion, The Jeffersons stands as one of the most memorable sitcoms of its era, complete with one of the most iconic theme songs in television history. Now, let's catch up with our favorite actors and see how life's treating them after the show wrapped up. 1. Marla Gibbs as Florence Johnston. As Florence, the Jeffersons' witty, no-nonsense maid, Marla Gibbs received nominations for 5 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe, and an NAACP Image Award. Florence consistently had a quick retort whenever George would reprimand her, and the audience rightly embraced it. This breakout role on an immensely popular sitcom provided Gibbs with the platform to advocate for the real-life individuals like Florence, domestic staff who don't have the luxury of a studio audience applauding them weekly. Gibbs's adept portrayal of Florence and her comfort in front of the camera were even more impressive considering her relative newness to acting when she was cast. Born Margaret Bradley in Chicago, Gibbs relocated to Los Angeles as an adult, juggling acting and dance classes while working a day job for United Airlines. In fact, she maintained her ticket reservation job for the first 2 years she was on the show. In 1981, she headlined her own spin-off, Checking In, where Florence worked at a hotel, but she returned to The Jeffersons after the series failed to attract audiences. Similar to her co-stars Hemsley and Sanford, Gibbs reprised her role on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a show whose own sarcastic domestic worker, Joseph Marcel as Jeffrey, owed an evident debt to Florence. Gibbs has continued to work through her 80s and now into her 90s, with recurring roles on The Hughleys, Days of Our Lives, and a noteworthy appearance in the Breaking Bad sequel film El Camino as a shopper for, what else, a vacuum cleaner. 2. Paul Benedict as Harry Bentley. The Jeffersons challenged numerous audience expectations of its time, and the stereotype of a formal English gentleman was no exception to this. Paul Benedict took on the role of one of the Jeffersons' neighbors, the United Nations interpreter Harry Bentley. While the tall, tweed-clad Bentley may seem like the epitome of the classic Englishman, he surprises as an eccentric, expressive, and well-intentioned goof-prone to showing up at the Jeffersons' door at the most inconvenient times. In essence, closer to the chaotic sitcom characters like Kramer, Michael Richards, in Seinfeld than the reserved British characters of the past. Benedict commenced his career in the theater company of Boston, sharing the stage with legends such as Al Pacino, and even generating more buzz than them via Boston.com. Unlike his peers, the actor, who battled acromegaly, the same hormone disorder as Andre the Giant, leaned towards a comedic career and found success in films like This Is Spinal Tap and The Addams Family, where he portrayed the titular family's neighbor, Judge Womack, per the Los Angeles Times. He was also recognized for his role as the numbers painter on Sesame Street. Similar to some other alumni of the Jeffersons, Benedict remained active until the end. His final credited appearance was in the 2008 movie Side by Each, and on December 1st of that year, the beloved actor, age 70, was discovered deceased in his home. According to Vineyard Gazette, the cherished actor passed away due to natural causes. 3. Roxy Roker as Helen Willis. Roxy Roker, renowned for her portrayal of Helen Willis in The Jeffersons, passed away at the age of 66 on December 2, 1995, in Los Angeles, per the New York Times. Beyond her iconic role as one half of television's inaugural interracial marriage, she held the titles of being rock star Lenny Kravitz's mother and actress Zoe Kravitz's grandmother. Before succumbing to breast cancer, Roker had also established herself as a respected stage actress and an actively engaged, honored community advocate. Unsurprisingly, Roker's family takes great pride in her accomplishments. Reflecting on her grandmother's legacy, Zoe Kravitz shared with Harper's Bazaar, "I don't think I really understood it until way later in my life, because you have to have a bigger perspective of what's going on in the world. When I got older, I realized, oh, that's why it was a big deal that my grandmother was married to a white man on the show. I had mixed parents, so I didn't see it as a big deal. Then, when I was educated about what the world was like, I realized this is a huge deal." 4. Franklin Cover as Tom Willis. One of the standout supporting figures in The Jeffersons was Tom Willis, the neighbor of the titular family and husband to Helen Willis, played by Roxy Roker. First introduced in the All in the Family episode, The Jeffersons Move On Up, Tom Willis remained a fixture throughout all 11 seasons of The Jeffersons. While this enduring role defined actor Franklin Cover's career, he showcased his talent across various acting platforms. A sought-after guest star in the popular shows of the 1980s and 1990s, Cover appeared in a range of productions from Love Boat to Columbo. He also left his mark on iconic films like the 1975 rendition of The Stepford Wives and Oliver Stone's Wall Street. The New York Times reported Cover's passing on February 5, 2006, at the Lillian Booth Actors Fund of America home in Englewood, NJ. The 77-year-old actor succumbed to pneumonia. 5. Isabelle Sanford as Louise Jefferson. It takes a unique individual to rein in a personality like George Jefferson. The kind-hearted yet incredibly sharp-witted Louise Jefferson serves as the ideal counterbalance to her irate and opinionated husband, portrayed with such brilliance by Isabelle Sanford. Her performance was so outstanding that she earned 7 consecutive Emmy nominations for Outstanding Lead Actress in a comedy series from 1979 to 1985, securing the award in 1981. Beyond her celebrated portrayal of Wheezy, Sanford maintained an active presence in the entertainment industry since the late 1960s. Her final acting credit was a voice acting role in a 2004 episode of The Simpsons, a unique touch as she voiced a character resembling herself. Regrettably, that year marked a poignant turn, as the actress passed away in July 2004 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, as reported by Today. Her publicist revealed that the 86-year-old Sanford succumbed to natural causes. One of the factors contributing to Sanford's exceptional depiction of Louise was the resonance of the storyline about a working-class family achieving success, which, as per the Los Angeles Times, mirrored her own life experiences. Sanford reflected, "I was told many times to forget show business. I had nothing going for me, but I pursued it anyway. Voila." 6. Sherman Hemsley as George Jefferson. Sherman Hemsley's portrayal of George Jefferson marked a groundbreaking presence in television, earning the actor numerous award nominations. He clinched a NAACP Image Award in 1982 and a Shared TV Land Award with Isabelle Sanford in 2004 for his remarkable performance. Beyond his extensive time as George in both All in the Family and The Jeffersons, Hemsley also made a notable appearance in another revered sitcom, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Before achieving stardom with his iconic role in 1973, he had already established himself as a respected Broadway performer, as noted by Broadway World. Hemsley remained active in acting until 2011. In July 2012, the 74-year-old Hemsley passed away due to a lung ailment in El Paso, TX, according to Today. Regrettably, his demise was accompanied by complications, as his half-brother and business partner engaged in a contentious legal battle over his will. Despite Hemsley designating his business partner as the sole beneficiary just a month before his death, the dispute prevented his burial for 4 months and continued for years. At one point, there were discussions about exhuming his body to comply with his brother's wishes to relocate it to Pennsylvania, although the court ultimately rejected this proposal. 7. Berlinda Tolbert as Jenny Willis Jefferson. Actress Berlinda Tolbert portrayed Jenny Willis Jefferson from the series' inaugural episode, even earlier on the episode of All in the Family that served as the series' backdoor pilot. As the daughter-in-law of George and Wheezy and the biological daughter of neighbors Tom and Helen Willis, Jenny frequently found herself entangled in the weekly happenings, often more so than her husband Lionel. Tolbert graced the screen in over 100 episodes and maintained regular status on the show until season 10, when Jenny and Lionel relocated to Japan, entrusting the care of their daughter Jessica to her grandparents. Tolbert, alongside Mike Evans as Lionel, made appearances in just 2 episodes of season 11, returning from Japan to announce their divorce. Tolbert pursued acting studies at the North Carolina School for the Arts and had brief appearances in Martin Scorsese's breakthrough film Mean Streets and a few minor television roles before landing the role of Jenny. Following her tenure on The Jeffersons, Tolbert engaged in stage performances and featured in episodes of Amen and Jake and the Fat Man. In 1989, she took on a supporting role in Eddie Murphy's 1930s crime drama Harlem Nights, and a year later, she reunited with Scorsese for a cameo in Goodfellas. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Tolbert took on sporadic small roles, and in 2011, she temporarily stepped away from acting to care for her ailing mother in North Carolina. As of 2021, she remained a resident of Charlotte and actively participated in local politics, advocating against gentrification and historical erasure. 8. Zara Cully as Mother Jefferson. Olivia Jefferson stood as one of the remarkable sitcom mothers. Similar to the rest of her family, Mother Jefferson made her debut in All in the Family, sparking an immediate adversarial relationship with Archie Bunker, Carol O'Connor, due to the latter's characteristic tactless remarks. Gradually, Zara Cully's character evolved into an entertaining blend of a kind, elderly woman and a challenging mother-in-law. Consequently, many fans were likely disheartened when she departed from the show after season 4. Regrettably, the reason behind her exit was far more tragic than simply choosing to pursue other interests. Cully was already in her 80s during her time on The Jeffersons, and as reported by the St. Petersburg Times, the prolific actress passed away on February 28, 1978, at the age of 86. According to Jet magazine, the civil rights organization NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, honored Cully's contributions with a posthumous Image Award. 9. Damon Evans as Lionel Jefferson. Damon Evans assumed the role of Lionel, George, and Wheezy's son in Season 2, following the departure of actor-writer Mike Evans, no relation, who originally portrayed the character on All in the Family. Evans continued in the role until the conclusion of Season 4, at which point he exited the series to pursue a career in stage performance. Mike Evans returned to the character intermittently, starting in Season 6, with Lionel's appearances becoming sporadic and eventually leading to his written off during the show's final season. Primarily a musician, Evans initially honed his craft at Michigan's renowned Interlochen Arts Academy as a young man. Post The Jeffersons, he shifted his focus to stage endeavors, with only a few on-screen roles, notably portraying young Alex Haley in the 1979 TV movie sequel Roots: The Next Generations. Evans received acclaim for his stage performances in British productions of Carmen Jones and the Gershwin opera Porgy and Bess, the latter of which was filmed for a 1993 episode of Great Performances on PBS. However, overseas success didn't translate to achievements in the U.S., leading Evans to grapple with depression and drug addiction as his career faced challenges. By 2001, he entered recovery and returned to the stage in regional theaters. When NPR interviewed him in 2007, Evans was pursuing an associate's degree in psychology from Bronx Community College. Later, he graduated from Brooklyn College, where in 2021 he made a special guest appearance at an event hosted by the university's LGBTQ Resource Center. 10. Mike Evans as Lionel Jefferson. Mike Evans, the initial and arguably more widely recognized of the two performers who took on the role of Lionel Jefferson, George and Wheezy's son, first portrayed this iconic character in All in the Family and the inaugural season of The Jeffersons. Evans reprised the role of Lionel starting from season 6. However, what you might not be aware of is his significant contribution to sitcom history. Evans served as a co-creator and writer for the CBS sitcom Good Times, another show linked to All in the Family that originated from the spin-off series Maude. Post The Jeffersons, Evans was not notably active in the acting realm and ultimately ceased his acting pursuits after making a final guest appearance in an episode of the CBS crime show Walker, Texas Ranger, featuring Chuck Norris, via the New York Times. It seems he transitioned to real estate investments. In December 2006, Evans passed away at the age of 57 due to throat cancer in 29 Palms, CA, leaving behind a legacy in the world of sitcoms. 11. J. Hammer as Alan Willis. Alan Willis, the son of Tom and Helen Willis and sibling to Jenny, Berlinda Tolbert, made his debut in a Season 1 episode portrayed by actor Andrew Rubin. Upon returning for a recurring role in Season 5, the character was taken up by J. Hammer. Alan's white-presenting appearance becomes a source of jest in George's comedic repertoire, allowing the show to explore interracial marriage uniquely. This is evident in the episode Half a Brother, Season 5, Episode 8, where a prospective white business partner of George expresses hesitation about the idea of Alan and his daughter potentially having a black baby. Before joining The Jeffersons, Hammer had limited television roles, featuring in episodes of Kojak, Emergency, and Greatest Heroes of the Bible. In 1981, he took over the role of Chandler Hill Harbin on over 70 episodes of the Another World spin-off Texas. Following this one-year stint in soap opera, he had an extended run as Fletcher Reed on Guiding Light from 1984 to 1998. Hammer returned to reprise the role for a single episode in 1999 and once more in 2009 for the soap's series finale. Since then, Hammer has maintained a low profile and appears to have retired from acting, with the Guiding Light finale marking his most recent credit. 12. Ernest Harden Jr. as Marcus Henderson. Ernest Harden Jr. had a brief appearance in a Season 3 episode of The Jeffersons before securing the role of Marcus Henderson in Season 4's George's Help. Marcus, a troubled teen from Wheezy's youth program, mirrors a younger George in his determination and willingness to engage in a scheme or two to achieve his goals. This is evident in The Jefferson Curve, Season 4, Episode 14, where he falsely claims to be George's son to secure a date with a young woman. Marcus also serves as a symbol of the physical and metaphorical distance the Jeffersons have now established from their community roots. Following his time on The Jeffersons, Harden took on one of his most memorable roles, starring alongside screen legend Bette Davis in the 1980 TV movie White Mama. Subsequently, he pursued a career as a dedicated actor, balancing roles in network shows like ER and Rizzoli and Isles, mainstream films such as 2002's Hollywood Homicide and Clint Eastwood's biopic J. Edgar, and lead roles in small and independent films, including the award-winning Velvet Jesus. 13. Garrett Morris as Jimmy. In the Season 9 episode True Confessions, George and Wheezy find out they have been sponsoring a 12-year-old foster child named Jimmy, or so they believed. Upon meeting him, Jimmy reveals himself to be a middle-aged con man portrayed by actor Garrett Morris. Jimmy reappears in Season 10, notably in the three-part episode Mission Incredible, where George enlists his help to recover $15,000 lost by Tom to a pair of scammers. Before joining the Jeffersons, the New Orleans native had already gained recognition for his roles in films like Cooley High and Car Wash, as well as for being part of the original cast of the iconic Saturday Night Live. Post The Jeffersons, Morris predominantly made guest appearances on shows such as Hill Street Blues and Who's the Boss, with recurring roles on the cop show Hunter and It's Your Move, featuring a young Jason Bateman. In the 1990s, he embraced the role of an elder statesman, portraying family members or mentors to the next generation of black comedians on Rock, Martin, and The Jamie Foxx Show. Morris became a regular on the CBS sitcom Two Broke Girls in the 2010s and made cameo appearances on HBO's A Black Lady sketch show and Ant-Man, a nod to a classic SNL sketch, among various other film and TV projects. At 86 years old, Garrett displays no signs of considering retirement anytime soon. 14. Ebony Smith as Jessica Jefferson. With only a few appearances in the final 2 seasons of The Jeffersons as George and Wheezy's granddaughter Jessica, actress Ebony Smith still left a lasting impression. Frequently, Jessica became a pawn in her grandparents' schemes, whether it was Wheezy trying to outshine a socialite by pushing Jessica into a piano competition, or George taking charge of her Red Robin Scout troop to enhance his image for the Dry Cleaner of the Year award in the series' concluding episode. Smith had a bustling career as a child actor. Following The Jeffersons, her most notable role is arguably as Danny Glover's youngest daughter in the Lethal Weapon series. As a teenager and young adult, Smith joined the cast of Living Single and also featured on Xena Warrior Princess. She had brief recurring roles on the soap operas The Bold and the Beautiful and Port Charles. In the 2000s, Smith shifted to a medical career, attending the University of Southern California's Keck School of Medicine. She currently practices psychiatry under her married name, Ebony Michelle Vasquez. While we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on the enduring impact of this iconic show and its cast. From Sherman Hemsley's groundbreaking portrayal of George Jefferson to Isabelle Sanford's unforgettable Wheezy, each member of the ensemble brought their unique flair to the screen. Before we say goodbye, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more nostalgic content, and hit that notification.